This is part 4 of a special mini series on home therapy with Anita Yokota. If you missed the previous episodes, go back and listen to them. And this one, we are going to bring it all together. I'll see you inside.
So if you think about the therapeutic process, you're doing a lot of front end work of finding yourself, the individual domain. You're really, digging deep, getting authentic and introspective. That's a lot of work. And then you want to create that structure of who you are and exemplify it into the outside world. So having a very successful structure will set you up for success. And then once you have that structure to show who you are, you're ready to meet people and have fun and be communal. So then interacting with people, even as an extrovert, it can be draining. So having a renewal space, usually the bathrooms and the bedrooms, that's where you recharge yourself and get that self-care in. You relax your body, your muscles, your mind, and then you can re-enter whatever domains you need to for the next day. So I loved writing the renewal domain, and I have a little funny story to share about that. So I'm an Aries. I'm very go, go, go. The hardest chapter for me to write in the book was renewal, not in the sense of ideas. I love sharing self-care. I can tell you how to do 5 million self-care things to do. But the joke was that it was harder for Anita, the author, to do those renewal things than to tell people, because I'm just always doing, right? Because of the challenges I have to relax, all the more into investing that time to learn that habit, that home loop to recharge. And now that it's been I wrote that book crazy. It's been out for 2.5, 3 years, but I wrote it maybe 5 years ago. It's really interesting to see for myself how far I've come to value renewal. Renewal is, all the domains are important in its own different way, but I feel like besides individual, renewal is how you recharge to get back to your core self. And so that's why renewal is so important. And it's, aromatherapy. Like it can be small, small ways. It doesn't have to be, I got to do that cold plunge, or I got to go to dry sauna like 5 times a week, or it can just be small things. When I'm stressed, I love taking baths because I love that water, some sensory feel. Sometimes I just wash my hands, and that will kind of clear my body and my mind. So again, starting with small ways for renewing yourself is imperative.
How do you think to maybe explore what those might be for each person? Because we recommend, of course, to read the book. We'll give at the
Thank
end
you.
where to find it, where to read that. What are some of the things people could start to explore or ask themselves? Because, for example, like the washing of your hands is not something that I would have naturally thought to do, but it makes sense because it's meditative. It can be aromatherapy.
I always love, and I wrote this in the chapter for renewal, is think of your 5 senses and what are out of the 5, maybe your top 2 or 3 of what you gravitate towards. So it's very similar to like our learning styles. Some people learn through auditory, some people learn through visual, some people learn through feeling, a tactile, sensory. What are the 5 senses that you're drawn to, and amplify that into your self-care, and not just in the bathroom. So for me, I love aromatherapy. Something that scent just kicks in that serotonin and dopamine level for me. So in my purse, I always have those roller stick aromatherapy in lavender, and I can put it on my wrists, I can put it on my temples, and that's like a quick sensory thing for me, like a pick-me-up through my 5 senses. So think of your 5 senses and what are your top 2 or 3, then find tools, whether it's in the home or even things, you can do on the go to support those sensory tools so that you can really help yourself feel better throughout the day and feel more replenished.
It's helpful because it's layered, because you're saying like you could have a big sensory thing because people are probably thinking, oh, I have, my mini yoga studio in my house, right?
Yes.
But it could also be, like you said, you have your aromatherapy rollers. It doesn't need to be something so huge that feels impossible if you're in a smaller place.
During the pandemic, I had no which I know everybody says the same, no personal space, right? You're stuck with your family. I mean, it was months and months, and I just was really starting to go batty. So I used my bathroom, which is honestly not that big. My vanity is the length of a yoga mat, but that's where I did my yoga. That's where I did my meditation. Like I literally, my bathroom was my sanctuary, and that's where I lifted weights. That's where I also took my baths. But literally that yoga mat, the length of my vanity, which is, I didn't go to a fancy gym. We all couldn't go anywhere. When my kids and partner knew I was in the bathroom, okay, don't bother mommy. Do not go into that's her time. So it could just be the length of a yoga mat, but it's your intention, what you're bringing to that activity, to that renewal, to how to recharge, bringing your five sensory into that tiny, tiny little space.
Would you say, this is kind of second to last question for you, but I'm curious, would you say that part of the renewal is creating, not habit loops, but creating a situation where you're able to do the things that you really love? Like I'm thinking specifically, I like to paint. So I have my easel up and I don't put it away. I keep it open. So I will paint.
You're speaking my language and you hit on a very important point, which again, kind of goes back to that pre-planning, right? So with if you can imagine my yoga mat in my bathroom was the length of my vanity. I had towel hooks to the left side of my wall. And instead of towels, I put my workout clothes on there and I put those elastic bands. I had to have a visual cue. And there was no excuse. As I'm brushing my teeth, what's to the left of me? It's my workout clothes. It's my elastic bands. I knew that was my home loop. That was a habit that I needed to keep up with. Yes, with your paint, with your easel, it's like inviting you into that activity, inviting you into that space. So it's very important to do. And again, your easel takes up just a corner, right? Like it's not a huge space. I used, instead of towel hooks, I made those towel hooks into another function. It became my workout corner.
It's just about being creative and like thinking, as you said from the beginning, outside the box of what's possible for what your space is. Since the book came out a couple years ago, is there anything extra that you feel would be in addition to what you had in the book that you feel like, oh, this is something now I would also mention?
I feel like it's just like therapy where you evolve and that's what I love about my book. And that's what I love about interior design and therapy is like you can go back to it. And because you have evolved as a person, when you go back and read the book or use the domain methods, and then I have different little methods within each chapter, it's because you have evolved or you've grown. That means your approach or your perspective is different. And then your design in your home is different. And that's the exciting part, is that your home grows with you. It's not a static method. It's not a static thinking. It's very fluid and it evolves.
You can always use it as your base, build from there. And also, I guess, understandably, some people will evolve differently, right? They're going to interpret it a different way. Their realms will be, their domains might be slightly shifting.
I think if you look back on your first apartment after college, you can see the evolution of your own style, of what you emphasized. Maybe in graduate school, I emphasized more of like my living room where my friends came over. Things evolve because of your seasons of your life, but also what I really want people to pay attention to. Again, it's not about the other people in the house, but it's really how you're evolving and growing, because better you can take care of yourself, then the rest will fall into place.
If we have people listening who are thinking about, okay, I'm ready. I think there'll be a few who are ready to do this and they want a little bit more guidance. Where can they connect with you? What are the ways they can do that? How can they get your book? Where can they find it?
Well, I thankfully am everywhere. So they can go on my website, anitayokota.com. And on the top header of my homepage, it says, would you like to work with me? So find that button and then you can schedule a, initial consult with me. My book, I'm so thankful. It's sold everywhere where books are sold. So it's Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Target. It was a top seller on Anthropology. It was so, so fun. So that's where you can find my book. And then, of course, socials, Instagram. So you can always DM me there.
Oh, amazing. So we'll connect everyone to you through show notes,
Thank
all the
you.
links you can find. Thank you so much for sharing, for really diving into the method, but also making it feel practical for each person listening. I feel like all of us walked away with one thing that we can at least do to feel more at home. So thank you so much for sharing so open-heartedly. And thank you so much for listening. This is one where I feel like you got a little something to make your home better, right? You've been thinking about it, and now maybe there's the small nook you want to create, or maybe just even the small little home loop you would like to build. So if you want to take this further, you can find Anita's book. It's called Home Therapy: Interior Design for Increasing Happiness, Boosting Confidence, and Creating Calm. All the things we want. Please share this episode with any of your friends or family members that are not feeling calm and confidence in their home. Maybe they're going through a renovation. Maybe they're even thinking about one, because this might give them some inspiration. As always, if you really enjoyed this episode, if it has helped you, it gave you an aha, please let us know in the reviews what you liked, because we will give you more. And of course, more and more women will see that, they'll listen, and they will also find the support and help that you did. Thank you for being here. I will see you in the next one.